Oh, hey, there you guys are. I was just looking for you. So today I've got a fun video for you. As you can see, I've got a lot of different camping lights in my hand, and that's because I've been seeing these lights from a company called BioLite all over the internet. They have all sorts of cool things like rope lights and solar powered tent stake lights and these lanterns and a headlamp. So I thought, why don't we put all these lights in a pile? We'll look at the features, we'll test them out, we'll see if they're any good, we'll see if they're worth your time and money. And thanks to our video sponsor, eTrailer, we're gonna get to do that today. So stick around while we test out all of these lights. Okay, so as always, I'm gonna leave chapters and links on this video down below if you wanna just jump to a certain section or are interested in checking any of these out. But I'll go through exactly what I have here, and then we will go through each one of them individually. We're gonna wait till it's dark to do some testing as well, so stick around for that. The first light we're gonna feature is this standard 500 lumen, I believe, camping lantern. This has some really cool features. We'll go through all of them. Then we have a mini camping lantern. Ooh, like a puck light. This has got some cool features. We'll go through that. Tent stake lights. Ooh, you're gonna wanna see me unwrap these. And it's got a solar panel, a headlamp, necessary for any RVer or camper. Oh, hey there, Rosie. You gonna be in the video? Okay. Anyway, a headlamp, which is one of my essential pieces of gear when I go out camping or RVing. And finally, the lights that I have the highest hopes for and probably my most anticipated and secretly I think are going to be my favorite, these string lights. They come up here. We've got a 40-foot length of string lights inside of here, all battery powered, got a solar panel on top for you to recharge with. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's check these out and test them out in the dark together. All right, the first light we're gonna check out together is the AlpenGlow 500. This is a 500 lumen camping lantern. It's got this rubber band that runs all the way across the top. This is a part of the light. You cannot remove that. On top, you have this large silicone rubber button, and we'll check this out in the dark, don't worry. But it's got a lot of cool different color modes on it, multicolor, kind of changing, almost like a glow lamp type of thing. It's got warm light, it's got cool light. Right down here on the bottom, you have your battery indicator. When you turn it on, you can see the battery indicator for how many bars of battery you have left. That'll be easier to see in the dark. On the bottom, we have a hook, which is great for hanging it inside of a tent. You can hang it just like this. And then on the back, we have our USB ports. Now, this is also, I believe, a 6,400 milliamp hour power bank. So you can pull this back, and it's nice that it does have these big, sturdy rubber weather strips back here. Pull this back, you've got a USB-A right there. And my only immediate disappointment is this is not USB-C charging, it's mini USB. I don't quite understand that. A lot of these lights are USB-C. It seems like just a couple are mini USB, so that's something you can get over, but it just means a different cord. I don't carry a mini USB with me on purpose, but there are the two charging ports right there on the bottom. It's pretty simple. That's all you need to know around the light itself. Now let's take a look at the different lighting modes and what it looks like in the dark. All right, so let's do some light testing with this larger camping lantern. Obviously, we have our button here on top. If we click this, it goes back to whatever mode we were in, and you'll see that this is what I would call like multicolor mode, and it does kind of morph on its own. It's kind of like the old lava lamp or something. It's moving around. I believe if you hold this, it will kind of scroll through different colors here. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can choose, so, oh, I want this. And it's got like a dance, crazy dance pattern on it. You know, kids would have a lot of fun with that. So you can just kind of hold it to go back and forth on these different colors. I don't know what it's doing there, but if we turn it off and turn it back on, I'll show you that you can actually shake this light to change colors. It's got a couple different functions that are just shake. And you see every time I shake it, it changes a color around the orb. And if you go to a different setting, so off, back on, and then click again, you go to the bright setting, woo, we can shake it, and half of it goes off. Shake it, it all comes back on. Hold that top button, and we go all the way to dim until it blinks. There we go. And this is a really dim light if you wanted to use this just really softly, or turn this bad boy on, full blast. You got 500 lumens. You see, this is bright. I mean, it's light enough to light up this entire area on both sides. Or if you decide I want one side, shake it, one side goes out. Pretty handy. It's a quick, kind of just a quick way to turn the light on and off, down. So we're gonna go off and then back on again and switch, and we've got, woo, full LED color. And I believe if we shake here, yeah, it just goes to the dimmest setting, and check that out. This is like a flame, like a candle. This is super cool. So you can see it just kind of dances like it's a candle. Then we shake it again, it goes back to super bright. That's crazy. This is a really cool light. I think if you hold this one, you can also go on the warm setting. You can go all the way down to the lowest setting, and it doesn't flicker, but if you shake it, then you get to that flickering set. I like that. It makes it feel like you have a candle. Off, back on, and then again there. Now we have full LED. This is a solid color. We can shake it, yeah, to change the color. Go from blue to purple. Now we're gonna go from purple to back to blue. It's fun. You can hold this, I think, to scroll through, yeah, to all the different colors. Pick the color you want, let go, and it stays there. It's green. I mean, this is a crazy fun lamp that you can do a lot of different things with. I think that kids would have a lot of fun with this lamp, and certainly around the campfire, there's a lot you can do with a lamp like this. So this is the large camping lantern at night, all the light settings, nice and bright. Big thank you to eTrailer for sponsoring today's video. Now, if you're an RV or a truck owner, someone who tows something, you probably know about eTrailer. I've been buying parts from them for about a decade now, even before they were a sponsor of this channel. But did you also know that they carry lots of great camping gear, like these lights? Yeah, that's right. All 5 of these lights you can find on eTrailer, along with tents, sleeping bags, fire pits, grills, chairs, you name it. If you need anything for camping or RVing, even towing or trailers, check it out over on eTrailer. I'll have links in the description to eTrailer. Make sure you use those so they know that I sent you, and be sure to support today's video sponsor, eTrailer.com. All right, next up we have the BioLite solar site lights. That means campsite. And one thing you'll notice right up front is this large solar panel across the front. You can use this during the day to recharge these lights so they are fresh at your campsite every evening. And I will say, though they weren't completely depleted when I got it, I set this out and they did seem to charge up pretty quickly with the solar panel itself. So that's a pretty handy feature. If you don't want to charge via solar, maybe have a power bank or a car, this one is USB-C on the side, so we get tie marks for that. Got a little weather stripping. Then it has a paracord on this side, or kind of like a handle. You can hang it on something or just carry it like this. There is a rope on this side, but there's also a place where you could switch it or put another rope over here. And then you have your battery indicator for LED lights. Click the button, it will tell you how much charge you have there in your battery. The case is also the battery. And if you want to get in, you just press this button, open up your lid here, and I'm really impressed with how these lights nest inside of here. The cool thing is, it's kind of like AirPods. You take these out and there are magnetic bottoms or metal bottoms on these lights. And then if you look down in the hole, you'll see 3 little prongs there. And that is the charging, just kind of the connector for the charger when you place your light back in. Hard to see, I'll show you this in the dark, but this lights up green when they're fully charged, red, and then yellow as they are charging. But the case is their charger. All you have to do is put the lights down in there and they will start to charge if there is charge in the case. So they either need to be plugged in or the case needs to be charged up or connected to solar. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that if you do set this out to charge via solar, it is not waterproof unless, and then I would just give you a caveat as, you know, to how waterproof this could be, but they say unless you are using this silicone band. So you would want to move this band in the correct place, kind of over the lid, you'll see here. See how it covers the gap in the lid? This is supposed to make you watertight. So if you're solar charging and you accidentally leave it out and it rains or gets dew on it, this is going to prevent any damage from getting to the case. But, you know, the only time that it would damage the case is if it got down in this crack inside. So that strip is handy. Inside, you'll also see that it comes with this set of stakes. There is a silicone strap that holds them in. And you get 6 of these stakes, 1 for each light. Now, let's just go ahead and grab 1 light and 1 stake, and we'll take a look at these together. So let's start with the light. You'll notice here on the end, of course, this is the hole for the charger, but it's also the hole for the stake. It's just a pressure fit. Press these in, and they stick together. You can hang them without the stake. You can hang them on this slit right here on a rope or a paracord, something around your campsite. Or the idea is put them on this stake, and they are lit tent stakes. Put these in the ground, and you have this notch here to kind of act as your angled notch for your tent rope. You know, this is pretty light duty. If you need it to hold down a lot, probably get a sturdier stake. But, you know, you could pound these into the ground with a hammer here, and then just stick the light back up on top. That's pretty cool. The light itself is a really nice design. The way you turn it on is by twisting it, and you'll kind of see that here, but we'll get to that more in the dark testing. You can twist it on and off, and then you can twist it up and down to different levels of brightness. So it's like dim, little brighter, and then off there. You just twist the base and the top together. So again, multi-use. You've got a place to hang it and a place to mount it to the stake. Now let's take a look at what this looks like in the dark. All right, now that we're getting darker, we can check out the campsite lights. I'm just gonna pop open the top here and quickly show you what the inside looks like when these things are charging. It was hard to see in the sun. If you pull one out and place it back in, you'll get this great green glowing light, and that tells you that not only is it charging, but it's fully charged. See, it goes out completely charged. They've been sitting there fully charged. It will come on red after you use them for a while to show that they are charging. So let's go ahead and take one out, and I'll take a stake out as well so we can kind of show a few around the site. And now taking the light itself and twisting it once, 1 click, you kind of get the dim setting. You'll see not super bright, but as you go up, click number 2, a little bit brighter, click number 3, even brighter. I believe that's it. Yes, 3 settings. So we got low, medium, high. I believe high is pretty bright. I mean, if you had these all the way around your campsite, it would be super bright. So let's go ahead and set a few of these up on the ground as though they were stakes around our tent, or we were forming kind of a circle. We have 6 of them. Let's see how bright we can make it with just this little light. And here you go. All the lights are surrounding me here. It's pretty much fully dark, and this is how bright it looks with these 6 lights on high. I think these would be great for kind of marking perimeters around a campsite. Using them as tent stakes would have to be pretty light duty work. Our ground is pretty hard right now, and I didn't want to force them in too hard, so they're just kind of sticking in there cosmetically. But having these around a campsite so you know where things are, maybe marking like, you know, oh, there's a drop off over there, or just giving people a way to see around the campsite is really a cool idea. I've never seen individually controlled lights like this that are this cool, that you can just click off or click back on at different levels. You know, we could hang these as well from a tree. I don't necessarily think I would use them that way, because if I was going to do that, I would just get the string lights instead. But I think it's a neat option that if you wanted these to sometimes be string lights, sometimes be ground lights, that would be great. I think they would look nice hanging from a tree, and honestly, in a small area, you might not even use all 6 of them. And if the kids want to use them as magic wands or swords to fight, well, that's just even more fun in the end. Lots of different uses for them, but they seem really handy, and that case for me is the real kicker, because if the case wasn't there, these would be hard to manage, but because it has a place for all the stakes, all the lights, the only thing it's lacking is a place for like some string or rope if you wanted to use that, but if you're camping, you likely have some of that anyway. So these seem really nice, and I think there's a lot of great applications for lights like this. And you'll see now that we've been using them for a while, when we put them in our case, they glow red and will glow red until they're fully charged, at which time they will turn green. I also just noticed if you have a light on and you stick it in the case, it automatically turns itself off and then starts charging. So you don't even have to bother turning them off to put them in the case. The case turns them off for you. All right, now let's check out these sweet rope lights. And admittedly, this is what brought me to the brand. I saw these and I thought that's a really unique idea. And the cool part is the entire top of this case is a solar panel. You see all the cells up here. And it's got this silicone rubber handle with these little pieces here, these little holes that you can reattach right there at whatever length you want. So you get maximum solar output. You will get a charge indicator right here. So you'll get a red light when it's charging via solar, and then it'll actually tell you how much battery you have left. This is your power button for the lights, but like I said, you can reconnect this handle right down here just by placing this on here and pulling. So you've got this little silicone handle, and then the way you get inside is just with a twist. Just real quick before we jump in there, almost forgot, this does have a weatherproof covered USB-C input, so applause to BioLite for putting USB-C on this product. And then it's also a power bank, so you've got a USB-A output if you need to charge anything. Now let's look inside at the lights. All you do is twist. Now you don't want to hold it sideways when you twist, but twist it counterclockwise, and this pops up. How cool is that? Look at this again. You go clockwise to lock, counterclockwise to let it spring open, and this is kind of like spring loaded, so it will stay open. And there is all of your string light kind of organized right here and in its place. This is a nice little hook here that you can use to hook your lights if you need to while they're out. But my main complaint, or really my only complaint with this, is finding the end. Once you wrap it in there, it's hard to find the beginning of the lights. I wish there was a place in here that you could hook the last little line. You do have a couple different little places, but it's hard to find the front of that line. But when you do, you just simply, aha, there it is. All you do is simply unravel it. And I do like the fact that this is like a hardy braided, almost like a rope. Like I feel like I could bind it up, maybe tie a loose knot with this. Obviously, this is electrical, transporting electrical current inside. You don't want to kink it or, pinch it in any way, but it does have a hardy, flexible rope on it. This is what the end looks like. If you need to hook it on itself, you could go around a tree, hook that in, and see, you're hooked up. This is what the lights look like up close and personal. They're just little LED lights inside of tiny little orbs. And you have quite a few of these in this 40 plus foot set of string lights. It comes in shorter lengths, and I think you might be interested in that for a little cheaper, because these are pretty long, and if you don't need that much, then you might want to go with something shorter. You also have several of these little loops along the middle of the lights, so it's just all for like looping and hanging, so you don't really want to tie these cords or anything. You can use these loops to loop them around trees and things to hang them. And probably my biggest complaint with this light set is that you can't simply turn it on while partially unwound. This power button does nothing. You have to unwind the entire spool. So in this one, we've got 40 feet. We have to unwind this entire spool. You can see there's a lot of cord. And then right here, you'll see this USB cable. It's not plugged into anything. It's just right there in the storage point. This is your end. So you have to plug this cable into this input, press it all the way in. There we go. Now we are tight. You can see that. And now the power button works the lights, and you can see all of our lights are on. I will show you that when it gets darker, but that is a little bit of an annoyance. I wish this was somehow just connected so that you could unravel what you need and not the entire spool without having to plug it in. I guess you could store it like that, but I would be worried that that button would be pressed and these would come on by themselves. That's probably why they require you to unplug it and plug it in to keep your battery from dying. So let's take a look at what they look like in the dark. All right, it's pretty dark out now. I've got my little puck light out here from BioLite to help me do this intro. We've got the string lights, the rope lights out. We're gonna crack these open, hang these between the trees, see how much light 40 feet of rope light gets you and how easy it is to set them up. All right, so we got the lights out of the case. I've just kinda got them here ready to string up, but I'm connected to the case if you could see it. I'm gonna set it down here over by the base of a tree and start to kind of hang these across. All right, look how bright these lights are. There are 3 different settings, and we now have them on high. This is how far 40 feet is going to get you. I'm really shocked. I thought it would go a lot further, but you really can't go that far on this much. Now we're doubled up on these trees a little bit. We're around this tree and kind of, you know, going behind it and just looking for places to tie up this. You have to use your tie ends like this to loop it up. Okay, so just to give you an idea, they are off. We're going to the low setting. This is kind of what you get for low. Go to medium and then high. So much visibility with the high. I didn't realize they changed so much, but I think the high would be really handy to have around eating a meal, hanging out, playing cards. Medium is just kind of for hanging out. Low is we're going to bed and we still want some ambient light. So overall, I can say I really dig these string lights and I think they're easy to set up. Get the 40 feet. I don't think that you will regret having that much more length. I thought maybe you go shorter, it'd be better. Nope, go for the 40 foot. They look great and you can kind of double them back on each other so you have a lot more light in a concentrated area or spread them out a little bit more with the extra length. I like the case. I like the solar charging. These are getting high marks from me and they're going to be some of my favorite camping lights going forward. All right, now let's take a look at this headlamp from BioLite. This is one I've been using on and off for the last couple weeks because I just dig this design. I love the way it's almost like, you know, workout clothing, this fabric along the top. It just fits on your head. It's got this nice curvature. It doesn't leave a lot of marks on your forehead or mess things up, but it's extremely comfortable and stable to wear. Got nice stitching along the side here. The back is elastic and adjustable. You don't even really have to get it that close because, you know, anytime you have something this flexible, you just kind of want to wear it tight and then let it, you know, flex to the size of your head with the material. But this is a look at the light up front. It does have a articulating or a rotating feature to it. So you can come and basically point it all the way down, or you can be straight like this. This is great for camping or for around the house projects. Right on the side, you do have a USB, mini USB charging port. That should be a USB-C. I wish it was. And I do find this a little cumbersome to charge because you can't pull this out and charge it in this position. You kind of have to pop it out like this, and then it's still like, hey, what the heck? I kind of think it would be easier to put it back here or something. But you know, for the size of this light, the amount of battery life that I'm getting out of this is crazy. I mean, this is the light, this is the battery. So I can't complain about that. But it's just a weird little spot for it to charge. And it does have a little weather guard, but you know, as you can see, I'm having a bit of a hard time getting it to stay in there as well. And of course, I'm going to show you what it looks like on my head. So you just basically pull it over here. You can strap this right to the middle. And you see, I don't have to have it very tight because this material is nice and elastic. It does not go anywhere. You shake your head. I've run with this. That's something I often do. I go out and run at twilight. Need one of these to get home on the trail without hurting myself, but I can easily articulate the light down, adjust my angle, turn it on and off with the button right up here on top, lock it back in and adjust it. It's really comfortable, and I think comfortable and lightweight is the main thing that I'm looking for in a headlamp, not just battery life and light itself, but functionality, comfort, and lightweight use. Because when you put one of these on your head, sometimes you're out there for a couple hours, and if it's uncomfortable or flopping around or it hurts, then that's no good. So the fact that everything is contained right here in this tiny little rectangle, the battery, the light. I've used these before that placed the battery pack in the back and it kind of flopped around, but this is a good design. So I really like this. Now let's check it out in the dark and see how these lighting modes perform. All right, so I wanted to start with the headlamp while we still had just a little bit of light here while it's fading, because this is the time of day that I would typically use a light like this, where it's not completely dark yet and I just need a little bit more light around my foot, or when I'm doing something, you know, you don't want to trip on a route when you're walking through the woods. So let's go through these light modes while you can still see this just a little bit. Then I'll show it to you when it's a little bit darker as well, so you can see the kind of beam it throws out. But to start, you've got your button up top. One click is going to bring it on, and I think it's to whatever mode you had it on before. So we've obviously got it on the red mode right now. That's just a little easier on your eyes. And in general, it feels like red light doesn't throw as big of a beam. You can kind of see stuff close. And so I don't believe there's any adjustment to this red if you hold it. Oh yeah, it does go dim. So there's a dim. You get that blink when you get to the lowest setting. Hold the button again, it's go all the way to the brightest setting. There you go. So it does have an adjustment for brightness on there. If we click again, we're gonna go off, click on, and then click again to the next setting. This is the regular light, and you'll see you can throw it down pretty sharply. It's kind of coming across my face and on the ground. This is great. If you're walking and you just need to see what's right in front of you, this light does it quite nicely. I've been using this when I'm running and jogging, but if you're stuck out on a trail and you've maybe got some, you know, things in your hands or you're running, this is great for seeing what's right in front of you. Then if we hold this button again on this setting, it'll bring it down to the lowest and then blink when we're at the lowest. Hold it again, it'll take it up to the brightest. It'll blink when it gets there. There you go. And so that setting is just the regular headlamp light. Then you turn it off, turn it back on, click again to the next setting. You're gonna go into this blinking light. Now you've got a couple different options here. I think you've got a blinking red, and then if we turn it off, turn it back on, click again, you go to blinking white, which probably is better when you're running on a road or you're trying to signal someone. Off, back on, click again, and you're back to your next setting, you're back to red. So those are all the modes, but like I said, this is not only really comfortable, but it throws out a lot of light. It's really useful and it's lightweight, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to headlight. The adjustability is definitely enough. I can get all the way down to my feet, or I can work on something right in front of me. It's a nice bright white light, not that soft light on here, but definitely something that makes it really useful as a headlamp, both for work and for play. And this is the AlpenGlow Mini from BioLite. Just like its big brother, only in a smaller package. It's 150 lumens of light, a big button right here on top. It's a nice soft button, easy to press, got lots of different light modes. We'll test those out in the dark here in just a minute. But I love the fact that it's got this little paracord along the bottom. You can take this out. So you see how it stretches and just stores right here nice and tight. But if you need to tie it around something, take it out. You could place something in there like a pole, pull this back over and look, it's stuck to the pole, or in this case, my finger. That's really nice. Then when you take it off, you could also pull this little, I don't know what you call it, bean or a pill down, hang it with this little guy if you had a hook somewhere. But it is super compact, super small. This goes in a backpack. One big button, easy to press. Right up front, you'll see 4 light indicators for your battery strength. And then right here on the side, we have, with a nice tight dust cover, a USB-C charging port. Bravo, BioLite. This one definitely needed a USB-C. So you don't need any extra cables. You probably already have it. All right, now let's take this tiny little puck lamp out for a spin. Like I said, this little button on the top controls everything. So you've got this nice warm light, and if you hold this button, you're gonna get control of the dim. You can take it all the way down. It blinks just like the others. That's pretty handy. So this is the softest setting. This is like a warm light. And if we hold the button again, we're gonna go all the way up to the brightest. It's gonna flicker again. There you go. And this puts out a lot of light. I mean, look at how it's lighting up my face. We're pretty dark right now, and this is a lot of light, more than what you would need inside of a tent. I would bring it down a little bit. I think it has different modes. If you turn it off and on, yeah, double click. Once you're on, you can go to a color, hold the top button, and we can go to different colors. Ooh, different colors. I don't know that you can control the brightness. Maybe you can. No, this one is just, you hold the button to scroll through all the different colors, and you can stop on the color you like, turn it off, and then back on and click to the next mode. Off, back on, click next mode. Ah, yes, and then we have a multicolor. And this is kind of a, you'll see it's kind of changing colors, like a rainbow, a color wheel. That's pretty cool. It's like the larger light, just does it on a smaller scale. Kids are gonna love this. I think that's really fun. Off and then on and then back to the center. Yep, now we're back to just the regular light itself. But I think this is probably the best value that BioLite is offering. It's a small form factor, doesn't take up much space, puts out a ton of light. And when you're camping, this is more than enough light. Stick this on a table. You could stand 10 feet away and still feel like you're getting plenty of light out of it. It's not gonna blind you. Lots of control and lots of fun. This is the tiny little BioLite mini puck light for camping. I think it's a lot of fun and has a lot of usefulness packed into it. So there you have it. That is the light set from BioLite. Again, thank you to eTrailer for sponsoring this video. We have links down in the description if you want to support them and check them out for yourself. I think my winner, my favorite of all these lights, drum roll please, it's gotta be the headlamp. This is one of the coolest headlamps I've tested out yet. I love the way it stays firm on your head. And I could use this not just for camping, but for running when I'm on the road. If I go out at twilight and I'm just out at dark, this won't flop around on my head. So I think I'm gonna use this a lot. But for uniqueness, I think the string lights are probably the coolest offering. So again, check out the links in the description down below. Thanks for watching here on the Traveler Toolkit, and I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Rosie. Come on, let's go.